Up next.
Holla peeps, it's your girl Sheree reporting live for SchreeTV. Getting ready to go to the gym. I got my sauna top on. Nancy Grace is just starting.
Henderson, Nevada suburbs. After friends and family repeatedly begged local police for welfare checks on mommy, police finally break in when mommy doesn't show up for work.
Yeah, that happened in Vegas.
Confirmed.
We have to talk about that.
Dead on the bathroom floor, a knife still stuck in her chest.
I don't even watch local news.
She was defending, also dead in the family bathtub just behind her. Bombshell tonight.
Bombshell. Bombshell tonight.
At a mall food court. ID, mommy's own teen son.
It's really eating me alive, knowing that my aunt and my little cousin are gone.
The bloody bodies of a mother and son pulled from this apartment outside Las Vegas.
They found Elvira in the bathroom of the apartment with a large knife in the center of her
He was
chest.
from Henderson.
That says a lot of anger. It says a lot of rage.
Cesar was stabbed and left in the bathtub.
Police are on the hunt for the older son, 16-year-old.
Problem in this world.
Detectives initially thought that the 16-year-old could be a victim of some sort. He went from being someone who was missing, someone who was considered a suspect.
There's also evidence that he possibly continued residing at the apartment after
He stabbed his mother.
Yeah.
How you gonna stab your mother? Damn.
Adrian, please call us. We are looking for you.
I don't need to have no kids.
Delaware. We don't know her name.
Delaware.
We don't know who she is. And we don't know if she's even alive.
Girl abducted while walking in Delaware?
An eyewitness spots a little girl.
Oh my. This is holding up my gym experience.
White SUV. That little girl frantically screaming for help. Screaming. The kidnapper, a white
My
man
job is never done.
30
Never,
years
never,
of age,
never.
screams back at the girl to shut up and yanks her away from the door of the SUV as she tries to get out. At this hour, Amber Alert.
An Amber Alert in Delaware?
Amber Alert! Police on the lookout for a girl between the ages of 10 and 12.
Newcastle County Police continue to investigate the possible abduction of a young girl.
She told me that the van was sitting there all day, and
Delaware.com.
was playing, and he said, "Come here, let me."
DelawareOnline.com.
12-year-old girl sees the young child pulled into an SUV, screaming, "Help me!" as she's thrown inside.
When he said that, she goes over to the car. And
That's
he
my
says to
home.
her, and she says, "Help, help."
That's my home!
Tries to escape, but the car pulls away.
The news report left some parents in the area uneasy and skeptical.
No one really knows for sure. No one's called and said their child was missing.
Testimony gathered fit the criteria for an Amber Alert.
Suspect described as a 30-year-old man. Tonight, police need your help.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. I want to thank you for being with us. Bombshell tonight, breaking now, live to Henderson, Nevada. After friends and family repeatedly begged local police to make welfare checks on mommy, police finally break in when she doesn't show up for work that morning. Their worst fears confirmed as soon as they go in. The unmistakable smell of human bodies in the home. Mommy found dead on the bathroom floor, a knife still stuck in her chest. Her 9-year-old little boy also dead in the family tub behind her. She trying to defend him. As we go to air, the chief suspect has just been spotted at a mall food court. A mall food court eating. ID, mommy's own teen son. His mother and his little brother dead in the home. And this teen boy is the chief suspect. Straight out to Mike Blasky, reporter with the Vegas Review-Journal. Mike, thank you for being with us. First of all, I want to go to him being spotted and apprehended at a food at the food mall. There, the food court at the local mall. He doesn't even seem as if he's trying to hide.
Well, that's a good point, Nancy.
What's up with that?
He was spotted. The Henderson police got a tip. I believe it was yesterday.
Right here in our own little town, little Las Vegas.
Yes, describing it as an open-air food court near...
Look, the body found, look. Vegas Strip.
They located him and took him into custody about 10:30 a.m.
That's where the boy was found.
Explain
Oh,
to
the
me
body was
how
found.
far away
Look,
this
see?
strip is from the home. I mean,
They have a
this
map.
teen has been on the run for a couple of days now after the bodies were found, and I've got a lot of questions swirling.
He was chilling on the strip,
I don't
y'all.
understand why a family
A
and friends
killer.
have to beg police so many times to do welfare checks. What, they go to the door, and when nobody answers, they go, "Oh, well, we did a welfare check." That's it.
creepy.
But that's a whole nother can of worms. Right now, tell me about this boy being spotted at the food court.
Well, Henderson is it's a different city than Las Vegas. They're about 15 miles or so away. I'm not sure. Henderson police haven't said how he got from point A to point B, but he was, he has been on the road. He
stabbed his
for
mom.
6 days now, and yeah, you're right. If there's a place in Vegas where it's good to hide out, I mean, the strip is as good as any with the amount of tourists and people down there. It'd be very hard to spot someone in a crowd of people who aren't there necessarily watching the local news.
Straight out to Eugene Gassaro, HLN legal correspondent. Let's go back. I want to go back. Backtrack to the time when the family and friends are begging police to make security checks on the home. What happened, Gene?
Well, let's start at the beginning. It was last Wednesday, and Elvira Canales was last seen as she picked up her little 9-year-old Caesar from his school. That's the last
So the brother
time
was
she
9.
was seen. That was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She called her boyfriend about 3:10 in the afternoon. That's the last time her voice was ever heard.
Whoa. Jane, she's a pastry chef, right, at one of the big hotels there?
At the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, and she had her uniform on, Nancy, when she was found stabbed to death multiple places in her bathroom.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your timeline, but I'm just thinking about this mom working all these crazy hours as a pastry chef, a baker, at a high-end luxury resort to support her family. She's got the 2 boys, the teen and the 9-year-old. And
wow.
her picking up, you said Caesar, I thought it was Cesar, but she picks up the baby, the 9-year-old at elementary school. What happens?
Well, once she picked him up, she called her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was on his way to work, but that was the last time her voice was ever heard. Now, police believe that she was murdered by her teenage son very close in time, because I said she had her uniform on. But what happened after that was that a relative of hers went by, and her boyfriend went by, and they couldn't get a hold of her. They knocked on the door, and her boyfriend, though, sees no light on the night that I'm talking about, which was that Wednesday night. The next day he goes back to her house and he sees a light on. So, Nancy, there is a question of fact here as to whether that teenage son, now charged with double murder, was actually in the home with his deceased mother and brother.
So you're telling me the teen could have been barricaded in there for days with 2 dead bodies?
That's quite possible, but welfare check after welfare check, they did not go into the home at all. They say there weren't exigent circumstances, but finally, when they went in, the smell of decomposition of those bodies was rancid.
Out to Greg Kading, former LAPD detective, author of Murder Rap. Very quickly, Greg, exigent circumstances, that line of law applies to cars or possibly a suspect getting away. What is SOP, standard operating procedure for cops on welfare checks? I mean, you do a welfare check because someone is concerned about another's well-being. So when you go and nobody comes to the door, shouldn't cops do more than just turn around and go back and get in a cruiser?
Well, absolutely. I mean, obviously in law enforcement, you're going to protect life over property. And in these type of situations, a child has been reported missing, the mother is not showing up where she's supposed to. Those are exigent circumstances, in my opinion. So I think that what could have been done, and they could probably also go to the apartment manager. I understand this is an apartment. You just get keys and walk in.
But Greg, I don't want to make this an attack on the police. True. I think they should have broken in at the beginning But the reality is, it's not their fault that the teen stabbed his own mom and little brother to death. That's not the police's fault. If they had broken in then, I don't know that they could have averted anything. By that time, the mom was already missing. The boy was already missing. So likely they were already dead, especially based on Gene Casares' timeline. We are live and taking your calls out to Jeff in Ohio. Hi, Jeff. What's your question?
Hey, Nancy. How are you?
Good.
I'm just so happy that this teen was just arrested. But here's my question. I don't get it. I remember when this story broke, they thought this boy, if I'm not mistaken, was a victim, and then now he's just arrested for the murder. I just don't get how they got it so wrong.
Clark Goldband, I'm not sure that the cops were really showing all their cards, because you've got the mom and the little brother dead. They knew that much, and they knew this boy was missing. I think either they weren't telling what they knew, or they weren't ready to name him as a perp. They just didn't have enough facts to name him as a perp.
Well, some important facts that law enforcement picked up on right away, Nancy, according to reports and documents, is that there were only 3 keys to get into this apartment complex. They found 2 of the 3 keys there in the home. This teen suspect had the other key. Law enforcement also found the knife that was in the kitchen, the same knife sticking in the chest of his mom. So there was certainly a lot of physical evidence, Nancy. In addition, this teen suspect's cell phone was turned off. Law enforcement could not get a signal on the phone after the child had texted the mom's boyfriend to say, "We're all fine, my family is sleeping."
So you're telling me the teen texted the mom's boyfriend?
Yes, the mom's boyfriend expressed great concern, was trying frantically to see if anyone was in the home or contact any of friends or family.
For those of you just joining us, a teen has just been apprehended at the local mall. There in the food court, in front of God and everybody, eating. He is now charged in the murder of his own mother and his own little 9-year-old brother. Why?
That's deep.
When we built the Cadillac ATS from the ground up.
Well, I don't need to hear anymore. Peeps, I'm off to the gym. Holla. What you say? I'm going to go sit in the sauna and sweat. I love you guys. Holla.